let's try this exercise, Jeremy. This is always everyone's favorite. Try to predict what 30 baseball general managers are going to do. It's very difficult, but I will say this. When I look at this class that LSU has assembled, they've got it signed. There's no, getting commits stolen. It's signed, sealed, delivered. Just got to wait for the MLB draft. But there are 11 top 100 players in the perfect game overall national rankings, 10 perfect game All-Americans, 4 big-time JUCO arms. You've probably read the release and understand, but this is going to be the new way of recruiting in college baseball at LSU, I think. I think you're going to go get as many huge names as you possibly can, understanding you're going to lose them, with also understanding I can go in the transfer portal and get a 21-year-old shortstop tomorrow. I can go in the transfer portal and get an ACC catcher tomorrow. That is a reality that has never really existed. And so you don't have to be as careful with guys who are going to sign because you can backfill it with guys who want another opportunity that have proven themselves in college. So that's my guess, and it looks that way when you look at LSU's class on paper. But this class, I'm telling you, is going to get absolutely roasted by the MLB draft. But the hope is they can't draft them all. So eventually somebody's going to show up. And so I've taken this signing class, and I've basically put them into 3 categories. No chance they're coming to LSU, and maybe not, and I think they're coming to Baton Rouge. So here we go. LSU has no chance to get Justin Crawford. That is Carl Crawford's son. He is from Bishop Gorman out there in Las Vegas. I don't think Imwani Wilkinson's going to call him up and get him on the horn. He's a top 10 pick. He ain't coming to Lockett Hall to take sociology. That ain't happening. Justin Crawford, no chance. I think Robbie Snelling has now moved into that spot. He is a left-handed pitcher from Nevada as well. He's a really good football player. He also is throwing 97 now, and this is a fairly recent development. He's been a highly thought-of pitcher. He's now blowing people away. I think he's going to be a top 20 pick. He will sign, I believe. Chase Shores, I don't think is going to be in Baton Rouge. You saw some video of him, I think. Number 1 pitcher in Texas. He's a big dude, and he throws upper 90s. He's what they look like. He looks really good. Somebody's going to be taking him in the top 20 picks. You saw him, didn't you?
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about a kid who's 6'8" right now as an 18-year-old, and he's throwing upper 95s. I mean, I would love for him to come down to Baton Rouge and pitch for this team. I could pencil him in right now, but no, those type of guys, they don't really go to college baseball. He's going to be a prospect, and I don't see him really coming to town at all.
Tucker Tobin, infielder, third baseman, probably maybe a shortstop. Number 1 ranked third baseman in South Carolina, All-American, ranked by Perfect Game as a top 20 player. I've seen him in most of the mock drafts I've seen. I don't want to, I'm not trying to be the smartest guy in the room here, preach to anybody. All I do, I read a lot, I watch some video, and I just kind of guess with everybody else. But from all the mock drafts I see, those 4, I just don't think there are any chance. I watch the Major League Draft every year, and those 4 are going to be on TV. I mean, you're going to have Justin Crawford, Robbie Snelling, Chase Shores, and Tucker Tobin. I believe I'm going to lump Brady Neal, who is a catcher, into this. And LSU would love to have a little influx of catchers here, and they've got 2 really good ones committed. I've got Neal and then no chance to come to LSU. He's a top 35 prospect by Perfect Game. I haven't seen him in as many mock drafts in the first round. That doesn't mean they don't come calling in the second or third round, and I think that Neal fits that description. Those are the ones that I think LSU has no chance to get. Now, here are the ones where your class is going to be made or broken. And it starts with Mikey Romero. We're going to have Mikey on this show here in the next 6 weeks. We had him on last summer. He was committed to Arizona, and he committed to LSU 5 minutes after Jay Johnson came here. He's the best shortstop in California. He's got an unbelievably good swing. He's got some smooth infield action, although I think he may be a second baseman. He's awesome, and he could definitely get picked in the first round. However, I do think he has a really good relationship with Jay Johnson. I do think that there's some of him that would like to play college baseball. It's unlikely he comes to LSU, but I'm not putting him. I've got these color coded. The red ones are no chance. I don't have him in the red.
Yeah,
I think he got a chance there.
Yeah, I definitely think you got a chance there, and I obviously that relationship with Coach Johnson is so important. We just saw that relationship on full display with Jacob Berry and Riley Cooper. So you got to trust those. And to me, in sports, the relationships go a lot further than things that are kind of the unknown. And so for me, a guy who's got to be in the middle of that defense, hitting from the left side of the plate. This kid is super, super talented. I would love to get him in Baton Rouge. That would be a huge gift for the Tigers.
Jeff G says, Hunt, it seems like you're completely dismissing the NIL. Let's pause and talk about the NIL because that's certainly part of it. Until I see it, I'm not going to believe a local Baton Rouge or Louisiana business is going to toss out $250K to any of these players. Maybe over 3 years. And maybe not. I'll have to see that to believe it. The numbers that some of these kids are going to get, in Crawford's case, it could be like $6 million. I mean, and for a 40th pick in the draft, you're looking at $2 million. Like, it's a lot of cash to turn down for an NIL deal that I just haven't quite seen yet. Mm-hmm. I'm certainly not dismissing it. My comment is I need to see it. I mean, where are you on what types of dollars baseball players in this market could get?
Yeah, I mean, we look at Dylan Cruz. I know he, forfeited a little of that money to kind of help his teammates out and things of that nature. But there's not many Dylan Cruzes out there, so you could probably point to one or two guys that could probably get a nice chunk of change. But you're talking about, asking a kid to forfeit millions of dollars to come to a situation where the NIL isn't exactly locked in. It's not like a Texas A&M situation where that collective is dishing out cheese after cheese for prospect after prospect. We don't kind of have that set up in Baton Rouge already, so I would have to agree with you. I haven't seen it, and so it's kind of hard to say, hey, well, no, this kid's coming to Baton Rouge because of the possibility that he may get an NIL deal. I don't think that's going to move the needle enough to get a guy to, pass up on millions of dollars in minor league baseball.
Need Alex Bregman and Dylan Cruz to chat with Mikey Romero is what we need. Paxton Cling is the next one in this group. He is a super toolsy outfielder from Pennsylvania. I've watched a lot of tape on him. The bat speed is outrageous. He never gets anything to hit in high school, which you might imagine, but he is super toolsy. He's a top 20 prospect by perfect game. I have heard through the grapevine that he kind of wants to play college baseball. We'll see. Again, I think it's unlikely, but I do think it's possible, so I'm not putting him in the no chance category. Cling and Romero, really, really good high school players you'd like to see here. Jaden Newt, you just watched a little bit of him. That's another big dude who throws quite hard. There are some mocks that have him going, I haven't seen much in the first round, but some a little bit there. You got to catch a Bregman or a Cruz here. I mean, this is what we got to catch a Gosman. Gosman was mocked all over the first rounds and didn't end up going there. So that's what you have to catch here, guys that really stick to their number. But you liked what you saw out of Newt.
Yeah, I mean, he's got all three pitches going already, and that's amazing to see from a high schooler. He got the curveball in there. He's throwing the changeup already. And then, like you said, he's a 6'4" kid pumping over 94, 95. Those guys don't fall off trees, man. So, he's made all the measurables. Obviously, he's a 5-star, highly ranked guy. If you found a way to get this guy to Baton Rouge, I think he can help this pitching staff already. But it's just, I don't know. I think he's a guy I'd have to put that red in.
Not yet. We're not putting him in the red yet. Jacob Mizzarowski is a big right-handed JUCO arm that throws really hard. There's been some late draft buzz on him. We'll kind of see how that plays out. But if you get the picture here, we continue to roll through arms that are throwing in the mid-90s. That is loaded in this class. There are like 8 of them that throw that hard in this class. It's one name that a lot of people here will know that I've got, and I think it is more likely than not he actually does get to school, is Gavin Gendry. He is the shortstop at Barb. He's a two-way guy. I think the implication would be that he would play 2 ways here at LSU. I don't know if he's your day one shortstop, but he can hit, and he's got a big arm pitching. I think that there's a real chance that Gavin Gendry gets to LSU, which would be very good. Speaking of catchers, we talked about how they like that infusion there. Brady Neal is one I put in the red. I've got Jared Jones, who is a big-time catcher out of Georgia, who's top 50 in a few prospect rankings. I've got him in maybe. I think it's unlikely, but I've got him in the maybe. But there are 2 big-time catchers in this class. You whiffed on 2 catchers in 2 classes ago. That I was reading an article about the one that went to the Rockies yesterday, and he's swinging the bat right there, and he's been awesome. And it's just It's you try and you load them up. Hopefully you land one. Michael Kennedy is a left-handed pitcher from the state of New York. Top 100 player by perfect game. Throws really hard. He's left-handed. That's not a great recipe for getting to college, but I think there's a chance there. Nick Bronzini, another left-handed pitcher, who's the number 2 left-handed pitcher in California in the JUCO ranks. In the high school ranks. Maybe. And then there's another right-handed pitcher in Micah Bucknam. And I don't say these to get you to memorize them. I think the point of the exercise is, okay, I just gave you Micah Bucknam, that's 1 pitcher. I gave you Nick Bronzini, that's 2. Gave you Michael Kennedy, that's 3. Gave you Jaden Newt, that's 4. Gave you Jason Mizzarowski, that's 5. That's 5 maybe pitchers. Can you get 3?
Yeah.
Can you get 3? That's the game we're playing here.
Yeah.
Because as we said, I've got red around Chase Shores and I've got red around Robbie Snelling. And I think those 2 guys are off the table. But can you get 3 of those 5? And then I think there's a number of guys here at the end that have some talent. They're big-time prospects. It's the reason LSU's class is number 1. But these are guys I think come to LSU. Nate Ackenhausen, Caleb Appleby, Griffin Herring, who's been awesome as a left-handed pitcher in the state of Texas. Nobody can hit him. He's at South Lake Carroll. He's 6'3", throws hard, has a couple of pitches. It's a 3/4 arm slot. That's a guy that I think is going to end up at LSU. Aiden Moffitt is a huge right-handed pitcher from Mississippi. I think he's 6'6", throwing 95, 96, 97 miles an hour. But I haven't seen – he's gotten more buzz this spring, but I think there's a real chance. And then Adrian Ceravo is a 95-mile-an-hour hurler. He hasn't pitched a lot this year, but he was a Cape Cod All-Star last summer. So I had 5 there. That's 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 more. 10 total. Can you get 6 of 10? Yeah. That's what we're talking about here.
Yeah, and that's going to be huge going to this team next year. We know the flaws of this baseball team. We've talked about it time and time again. So it's a necessity. I think you got to get as many high-level, high-leverage guys that you can on this pitching staff. And I think for this team, it's going to work dividends. So we can't really pencil in anything right now. It's going to be up to these kids to make their decision, obviously up to Major League to kind of find which guys they really value highly. But yeah, to me, I'd be happy with 5 out of 10. I think that'd be great.
And then you go to the portal and get 2 more, and now you got 7 arms to pair with what you had. I'm looking in the Bayou Ford chat. Champ says Gendry already has an apartment in Baton Rouge. He's here. Champ, need I remind you about a young man named Mac Marshall who came here and started working out when he turned down the draft, and he ended up leaving 5 minutes later, went to JUCO. Do I need to tell you about Zach Lee, who was at football practice, played quarterback 4 less miles, and then went down the street to the Rotolos and signed a contract with the Dodgers? Having an apartment doesn't mean squat before the draft. Again, I think Gendry's going to show up in Baton Rouge, but this is the game we play here. So that's the class. We are going to do our best to get a lot of these guys on. I don't want to do it right now because the draft is 6 weeks away. It's usually this week or the next week. Omaha Super Regional, it was terrible. I'm glad it's in July, but to try to beat this over the head right now is not necessarily something that we need to do a ton of. But I want to get a lot of these kids on, kind of get where they're feeling, and we'll do that moving forward. We've had Mikey Romero on before. I've got the numbers for a couple of others, so we'll start checking in on these guys probably in about 4 weeks.
Thanks so much for watching Hunt Hill on YouTube.
Now do us a favor. Hit the red subscribe button below and throw us a like. See you next time.